Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. We record these interviews so potential buyers have more information about the seller and the business to help them make a buying decision. Before we dive in, let's go over a brief summary of this business. It's an Amazon FBA and e-commerce business created in January of 2016 in the jewelry and religion and spirituality niches. The average monthly revenue for the business is $50,173 and makes an average of $13,486 per month in net profit. The assets included in the sale are an Amazon Seller Central account with 994 SKUs, domain including all site content and files, supplier relationships, accounts for Shopify, Walmart, and eBay, a Facebook account, trademark, and just as a disclaimer, inventory isn't usually included in the list price, but further details can be provided to unlockers. So for everyone listening, you can visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 61819 to learn more about the business, or you can unlock this listing to start your due diligence if you're interested in purchasing this asset. So that's a brief overview of the business for sale. Let's hear from the seller with me today. So welcome to the show, Dan. How are you doing today?
Good, Nick. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Well, Dan, I'm looking forward to learning more about you and your business. So to start us off, can you tell us a little bit about your background in building and running online businesses?
Yeah, my background, I've basically been online, kind of in online marketing and sales for over 20 years now. I started back in 2000 and kind of taught myself everything I needed to sell online for a high-tech device company back then. And I got into affiliate marketing in 2008. Through that business that I started and owned, and I actually had employees at the time, we had marketed, thousands of different types of products for different brand names and even some of the largest brand names online. But for the last 11 years or so, I've been in the kind of Amazon online retail specifically niche and started working at a company as basically was employee number one. And over the course of those 11 years, we had built the business up to 70 million in annual sales on Amazon and eBay and Walmart, and we're bought by a publicly held company. So it's something I've been doing basically for the last 20 years or so. And we started this particular business kind of as a side thing. It was almost an experiment for me at the time because I was tasked to get my company at the time into eBay, and I didn't know anything about eBay. I thought eBay was places people go kind of to buy, toast for crazy. They had like a toast, picture of Jesus on it or something, and or somebody's urine. I've heard these crazy stories of stuff you buy on eBay. And I never bought anything on eBay, so
Toast.
I was tasked to. I was tasked to go. Yeah, I heard one time somebody bought a piece of toast that had Jesus' face burned into it for so many hundreds of dollars.
I didn't know that was real.
Yeah, so anyway, I was tasked to figure out eBay, so I did some experimentation and it kind of started as a side thing, and then it just kind of it was almost accidental, but on purpose, that it blew up into this small little side business and kind of turned it over to my wife and family to run it. But I still had that full-time job running that other company or division of the company, and so anyway, I've been in online sales and marketing for quite a while, and background doing it, and I've sold just about everything you can imagine, everything but porn and gambling. I always have some things I stay away from, so I stayed away from the kind of the dangerous or a little bit more dirty categories. But through affiliate marketing, if I could make $1 and I would try it, that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, it sounds like you certainly have experience. Yeah, I would say I'm trying to think about all of the different business models that you've been involved with: physical products, display advertising, affiliate. So pretty much majority of the business models that are most commonly sold on Empire Flippers. Okay.
Yeah, the whole gamut. Like I said, the last probably 11 or 12 years now, we've just been focused on e-commerce and specifically on platforms like Amazon, eBay, Walmart, Etsy, those platforms. Rather than being focused on generating the traffic and sending them somewhere, there's already traffic on those platforms. So just basically been more product focused as opposed to traffic focused. So, and figure out how to manipulate, not really manipulate in a legal way, but how to make sure that your listing ranks highly and do whatever it takes to have the right images and have the right bullet points and the right titles so that you have more search preference by the platform. So it was kind of my job to figure out how to reverse engineer the best way to list products so that they get ranked the highest, the quickest, and stay ranked highly. And, so that's kind of what I've been doing for the last dozen years or so.
Well, I know you mentioned that this was a nice little accident of a side project. And I was going to say it is a nice accident of making a side project that is accidentally making over $50,000 a month in revenue. But I think you're maybe underselling yourself a bit. I guess I'm seeing a bit more behind the scenes about why this actually succeeded. And it's based on your 20 years of experience, plus the people on your team, of course. Yeah, I guess we'll get into the next question. So I'm sure we can talk about this point for a long time. But to get to the next question, why are you deciding to sell this business instead of keeping it and growing it?
My wife, Diana, and I, we kind of run this. She runs most of the day-to-day business and has some extended family that are kind of hired as subcontractors to do some of the packaging. But we together as a couple decided to have our kids start homeschooling last year. So she's got less bandwidth now helping them homeschool. And we have 3 kids that are 11, 14, and 15. So they're just kind of the, young teens mostly. And she needs to make sure that she, spends the time that's required to get them through the next few years of school. So she has less bandwidth. And so we don't want to grow it anymore because she's already we have it at a nice, maintainable, easy to sustain and maintain at the current place. And there's lots of ways to grow it, but we don't really want to grow it because it would just make her busier, So she has a nice balance right now with homeschooling the kids and running the business, working several hours a week kind of thing. So it's manageable. And then I help her too, obviously, with some of the secret sauce as far as, okay, well, the title should do this and the bullet points should look like this and, images should be this way, that kind of thing. So I help her with some of that. And even on the weekends, we'll take some photographs and do some editing for her and that kind of thing. And I have a full-time job running for another company that hired me to be their senior e-commerce director for their Amazon channel. So I have a full-time job. She has kind of a full-time job with, homeschooling the kids. So that's why we're selling. It's not that, the business is done and it's going down the toilet. It's like we are already kind of at a place with balance, work-life balance. If we grew it, which it deserves to be grown, we would be too busy. We feel like it'd be a great business for somebody just to take all the years and years of hard work and not only just leverage that indefinitely, because really that's kind of the thing that's cool to me is that you can work really hard once and then benefit from that work forever. And the reason why I say that is you could have a listing that has 4.6 stars out of 5, and it's for a product that you can get forever. And all that hard work of getting it ranked and getting it selling and the images and the bullet points and all that, that's already done. That was done. Some of the listings were built 4 years ago and nothing's changed. So you can basically leverage all that work just by putting more things, when a product runs out of stock, get it back into stock. So the hard work's already been done. Getting it ranked and getting it selling, that's already been done. The easy stuff is just ordering more product, and getting it in stock. So there's a lot of that across hundreds of listings. The new owners can just leverage that work. And basically, looking at some of the listings that are currently being bought in that purchase, they can model their new listings if they want to add in more products. That's another way to build this, is to just add more SKUs. A lot of our suppliers, they have stock in the United States of hundreds of new items that you could easily add. So if you just followed kind of our template of how we list things and how we launch them and what the bullet points look like, those kinds of things, in addition to leveraging the fact that the account itself already has great feedback, it's 99% positive feedback from customers. So that alone helps the listings get started pretty quickly because it's an established 6-year-old account with great feedback and great customer feedback. And as far as even inventory control, Amazon has this health gauge, and they basically establish your account's health across numerous parameters. Inventory control, your listing health, your feedback from customers. We're basically, almost 5 out of 5 stars on every parameter that they measure as far as account health. So when you list something, you get preference automatically. So you can list a brand new item in the jewelry category, and you'll get some preference from Amazon showing up in the search results at the top because Amazon already trusts this account and it has a great account health. So the listings can gain traction fairly quickly. I just know that for a fact because I just started working for a new company that their Amazon account was only a few months old. It's very hard to get their items going. I don't have the benefit of the business my wife runs that's 6 years old, where she can launch a brand new product and it immediately gets traction, immediately starts selling quickly. And as those reviews start piling in, it just establishes a solid position at the top of the search results, like I said, indefinitely. And that's the great part of this business is the listings are almost like real estate property. It's like online real estate. It's established, it's there. All you have to make sure is that you have product in stock and it will move. So anyway, I think I answered your question and went beyond that.
Yes, definitely. Well, I think you answered the next question, but I'll ask it to see if there's one specific thing. During this time that you and your team have built this business, what did you learn that you think really contributed to the success? I mean, now you are years into this, and as you said, it's easier to just post new products and they automatically gain traction and sell. What do you think was what contributed to, I guess, maybe more of the initial growth before you had that clout?
Well, I mean, one of the products, and I won't kind of detail the products. I know we want to, for the unlockers, we can get into that more in a call. But one of the products that was in this particular niche, it sold really well. It sold like hotcakes. And from a business owner's perspective, it was crazy money. Like you turned $1 and turned it into 8. So the profit margins were insane. It was a great product. And in this particular niche, everybody in the niche wants that product. So it's a popular product. Everybody wants it. Everybody believes they have to have it. You can make huge margins. Anyway, the problem with it is that it's a very heavy product in quantity, and the volumes were crazy high. So long story short, the thing that didn't work about it is that we just didn't want to be lugging around. I was literally getting multiple tons of this product. At the time, it was a 2-car garage that basically took up a car garage. So I'm shipping literally several thousand pounds of product from various countries. One of them, I think it's even a listing in Morocco. This particular product was from Morocco, but we're shipping in tons of this product. And for us, it was like, yeah, we could keep doing this. It started to become where there's a lot of other sellers that had the same product, and we definitely differentiate ourselves as far as our brand is concerned. So people would still buy ours for even twice the price that some no-name brand would sell the similar product. But it just got too heavy, too bulky, and we just wanted to get it kind of out of that. And kind of to dovetail off of that, another thing we kind of learned early on is we were kind of doing some custom products that sold for very high margins, but it was kind of a one and done. We would have 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 of a certain item that were customized, and the products would sell and have great margins, but it wasn't something that you could leverage indefinitely. So we kind of shifted our focus to, we could take 10 photos, put them up, a certain type of product, and use those photos forever. So we kind of went from the customized, we were heroes to the customers because they loved the product. It was custom and they just felt blessed to purchase it from us, to, we have that same kind of feeling from our customers, but now we have a product that it's the same always. It doesn't change. It's not totally customized. It's customized in a different way. And I can't disclose some of that because I kind of, in marketing, they have this term called unique selling proposition, your USP. I kind of developed a USP that kind of fans the flame of the passion of the consumers in this particular niche and makes our product completely different from other sellers because we actually combine that unique selling proposition with our products. So now you can have, certain type of jewelry, but it's combined with a certain other product as kind of almost a free bonus that amplifies to the consumers. Their reality is that the product is worth more with this kind of free bonus that comes with it. And the value of the product is significantly better. And I learned that kind of listening to a lot of reading customer reviews and helping answer some emails from customers early on, what was really important to the customer. And then we made it part of our business. As a business owner, you start to listen to your customers and actually change your business to meet your customers' needs. Then your product just sells itself. So those are some of the things we learned. Things that we learned didn't work were like, the very customized products that you can't leverage indefinitely. And then like products that were super heavy. So we just kind of got away from that. And really the perfect niche I've kind of developed over the years that I think is perfect is that you have a product that sells in the $15 to $25 to even maybe $40 range. So everybody can afford it. It's kind of like a dinner out, kind of thing. And it's a very light, small product that can ship in the mail for, $3 or $4 or $5. So if you think about jewelry in general, it's small, doesn't weigh a lot. If it's in this kind of price point, 15 to, And we have products that are more expensive than that, but in general, our better sellers are in kind of smaller items that fit that everybody can afford it. It ships for very low amount of money, so it's easy to transport to the consumer. Even shipping multiple or even pallets to Amazon doesn't weigh a lot. So that's for me the kind of perfect business. Yeah, you can make a money selling $1,000 product that you have, maybe it's a 20 or 30% margin on, but usually that's a really big product, and there's lots of other things that kind of compound the problems with it. Anyway, this niche was kind of fit all the check marks for me. It's low investment of capital up front. I mean, you can buy 100 of something and try it out, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, you move on. And to kind of another, I guess, a third answer to your question, we've tried other products that weren't hits, and so we've never. Often it'll be we buy 100 of something, we sell it, and it'll sell one or two or three, a week or something. So we'd never lose our money and always become profitable, but it just wasn't really a hot product. So we tried to early on focus on the hot sellers, and we had some that would sell a few hundred a day early on, and they still sell a few hundred a month. And that's easier to manage than, something that sells a few hundred a year. In looking at our business, we have a lot of SKUs that we've just kind of let run out because they sell, like they might be a few hundred a year, but that's an easy growth thing where if somebody doesn't mind sitting on those for several months and wants to get busier, they would just turn those on by buying more of that product, so it's just, we kind of had to play it smart, and we've cut back, but all the cuts that we've made over time can be undone pretty easily. On Amazon, the great thing is the listings are there forever. So if you build a great listing that runs out of stock, Amazon doesn't deplatform your listing like eBay. If you let a listing go out of stock for 60 to 90 days, they sometimes will basically delete your listing. So on Amazon, that's not the case. You can let something run out of stock, 2 years ago and buy more of it and then put it back in stock and it'll start selling right away. So that's the great thing about this business is that people are buying all that virtual real estate that we've worked 6 years to build,
Yep. Nice. Well, it certainly sounds like there are a ton of learning lessons from this, and any potential buyer has a lot to discuss with you. So I know that this business is primarily an Amazon FBA business, but I did hear you mention a little bit about eBay. Can you tell me about how traffic is generated and if there's a combination of Amazon FBA and other channels?
Yeah, well, we have the ability to, and I never built it out because, like I said, at the time we got approved for Walmart.com. We have a Walmart.com account, which is actually pretty hard to get right now. For the company I currently work, I've tried for several months to get just an approval for an account. They haven't given me an account. So anyway, we have a Walmart.com account. I played around and launched a couple products, and we sold a few, and then I turned it off because at the time we're super busy and we didn't want more business. So we have a Walmart.com account. I believe I registered an Etsy account, which I also have experience in, but we've never launched this particular business for sale on Etsy, but that could easily be done. We have a Facebook fan page that could easily be connected to a marketplace account. I was doing that just kind of early on, first couple of years, just to see what would happen and it really quickly built out to like 8,000 fans and so busy.
Oh,
I had to basically say, look, I can't do this anymore because there's so many people you have to respond to. And you just throw something up there and it would sell. I didn't have the resources at the time. And like I said, back then it was just still kind of an experiment that had gone really well. But the Facebook account could go well. But eBay and Amazon are basically where the business comes from for the most part. There's another maybe 0.5% of the revenue that comes from a Shopify, which is basically just a .com site that we basically just fired up initially just to be kind of like a business card that if people saw on Amazon, they just want to see if we were legitimate. They could actually see, hey, these guys are legitimate. They have a phone number, they have an address, they're a real business, and their brand names and their .com. So that's all the intention was there. And it sells a few $1,000s a year, but we've never spent a penny on advertising. It's all been free traffic from Amazon, where the Amazon customers, and this is kind of the cool thing about this business, the customers really love the brand and the company. There's a super high, I'm sure every seller will say this, but it's true about ours. We literally on Amazon, I have customers that have placed their 80th order. Like they've been buying for 6 years and they just keep coming back. And then this morning I saw a gal who had bought, she came in there and people know that we're in the jewelry category. That's publicly facing, but there's a certain type of jewelry and she bought 36 different types of this one exact form of jewelry product.
Wow.
So people in this niche, they love us. They keep coming back forever. And the reason why I share that is that people go to our .com site to buy from us direct just because they feel like it's a little bit more personal and they've been buying from us for years. So they want to save us some money that we do have to pay to Amazon for, that referral fee. So they would rather buy direct from us, and they often just go to our website to buy from us direct to save us some money, and just so they feel like they're dealing with us directly instead of, feeding the corporate beast of Amazon kind of thing. So the
Sure.
purists, I guess you call them, the customers that are kind of purists, they go to our .com site. But mostly it's eBay, which I think on the public facing we say about 11%. This last month eBay's up a bit just from some things that I've been doing. It's free to do on eBay, and it's basically doubled our revenue on eBay. Just because I've never done it before, I wanted to see what would happen, but it's something that a new owner could do, and they could keep that revenue sustained. So that 11% was based on numbers prior to what I've been doing in August. August revenue for eBay is basically double.
Okay. Got it.
I think that's 4,500 to almost 9,000 in the last 30 days. So anyway, it's mostly Amazon is the bigger part of the business, which, at the end of July 31st, the numbers were like 89% Amazon and 11% eBay. And then there's a little bit of Shopify, but it's 50 to $100 a month kind of thing here and there. Christmas time gets busier, obviously. This niche is kind of a Christmas gift kind of thing.
Got it. Well, certainly sounds like there are quite a few potential untapped channels.
Yeah, there's a lot. If I was doing this full time as, hey, this is all we do, there's, I'd say hundreds of ways, because there really are hundreds of ways, but there's probably a dozen ways that I would focus on that would be pretty high return on invest time and money pretty quickly.
Okay, got it. Well, it sounds like then a majority of the time is spent with Amazon. So can you describe the amount and the type of work that you do on this business for maintenance? Or maybe you want to talk a little bit about the fact that you have some people on your team doing certain things?
Yeah, well, there's about an hour to 90 minutes, I guess sometimes 2 hours. If you combine kind of answering a couple of emails here and there with order fulfillment, there's still some fulfilled by merchant orders, both on Amazon and eBay. So that's, hour and a half to 2 hours a day. There's FBA shipments, which basically we're taking stock that's been packaged for sale on Amazon and shipping it to Amazon. We call those FBA shipments, or fulfilled by Amazon shipments. And they're prepared and shipped to Amazon bi-weekly, which takes a few hours per week of Diana's time kind of coordinating, okay, this is what we need to send, and this is how many we need to send, and these are the products that you need to package. So we have subcontractors that she'll basically send, the jewelry item, our custom packaging, and our custom freebie that I kind of slightly mentioned earlier. And she'll give that to the contract workers that work roughly 15 to 20 man hours per week is what she told me at our current volumes, just to keep things going. And oftentimes late fall, she'll probably step up, to get prepared for Christmas, because Christmas obviously is a little bit busier time of year. So it can be a little bit more, but our current volumes right now, it's 15 to 20 man hours for our subcontractors to package the products. And she spends a few hours a week to coordinate that. And those shipments are sent bi-weekly. So every other week she'll send a dozen boxes of different packaged items. But the daily thing is pretty manageable. It's an hour and a half to 2 hours roughly. And I don't know if this is really a question, but I think actually somebody might have asked me a question with how many orders per day is it fulfilled by merchant. Anyway, this business is pretty easy. Somebody with minimal training could probably fulfill 16 orders in an hour, So that kind of gives you an idea of the amount of time. So it's roughly 16 to 20 fulfilled by merchant orders per day right now. And it could be significantly less time, because there were times when I would just promote one product and we would pre-box 50 of them. If we have them pre-boxed, you could ship out probably 20 or 30 an hour. But right now it's just kind of boxed to order, believe it or not. 16 orders will come in and they're basically boxed to order and shipped out the door, which one of the gentlemen at Empire Flippers was kind of concerned. Oh, you guys make some custom products? Well, the custom product takes 10 seconds to make, another 10 seconds to put in a box, and then you basically label it and put it in an envelope and it's out the door. So they were all concerned, oh, a new buyer might be freaked out that you're making custom products. Well, it's not really that custom. It's just taking a certain item, putting it in this particular setting, and putting it in the box. So it's pretty easy. And without being derogatory, I guess if I was saying that this way, a monkey could almost do this. I'm sure my kids could do this. So a new seller could definitely do it. Monkeys might not get it right, but it's pretty easy to do.
Got it.
So yeah, it's basically 16 to 20 orders a day is the fulfilled by merchant piece. And then my wife spends a few hours a week doing fulfilled by Amazon stuff.
Okay. Got it. And yeah, if anybody's listening to this interested, and any unlockers can discuss this in further detail, what some of those operations would look like, more the custom side. So moving on to opportunities, throughout this conversation, we spoke about a lot of opportunities, or I was able to pull a lot of opportunities for growth. Maybe we'll stick with maybe one or two. If you were to keep the business, what are the top one or two ways that you would try to grow the business?
Yeah, I think I have alluded to this a little bit earlier, and I have to just preface this with I'm an opportunity addict. I just love opportunity. I'm one of those kind of glasses always full kind of thing, or half full. Anyway, there's tons of opportunity, and what I would focus on is I kind of alluded to earlier is just some of the things that are out of stock, just getting some of that stock back in. And you could probably look at historically how many we sold per month, per year, and what made sense just to stock. So just turning some SKUs back on that are already ready. There are quite a few of those that people would just basically place an order, stocks just across the country and still in the United States. Small, minimal investment of maybe, a couple hundred to few $100s per SKU, get that in stock, go on to Amazon, tell Amazon you've got 30 of them in stock, and boom, you start selling them almost this. Usually I'll sell this very same day. So basically expanding in the sense that just basically turning some of those SKUs that we because we were too busy, and I think I elaborate on this pretty heavily, is we were too busy at the time. So we let some of these SKUs kind of run out of stock and just never re-upped them. So, and really hit this hard earlier where those listings are already strong. Some of these listings that are out of stock already have several hundred reviews that are 4.6 out of 5 stars. So if you put them in stock, you will be listed at the top of the search results right away, and you will sell them right away. So that's a really quick opportunity. Adding new SKUs is really the hardest part of adding a new SKU really for this business is just taking the photos, cropping and doing some adjustment to the lighting, and then listing, which is pretty easy. And if somebody's entertaining the idea of buying this business, it's pretty easy to learn if they don't already know. I mean, some of these people might already have Amazon businesses, so they know how to list things and how to create variants and all that kind of thing. But there's thousands of hours of free training online on how to list something on Amazon, so it's done really well. So anyway, expanding into new products is really a simple thing. Like a lot of our suppliers, for example, we have this one, and I won't go into it, we can go into it more on the call, but one category of product that we sell, we probably have, I'd say 70 varieties. Well, this supplier that we buy that from has probably at least another 70 varieties we don't currently sell. So expanding into new SKUs that are similar to SKUs that are already successful, and then adding those to the mix is a very quick way to get some wins, because oftentimes you can put that new SKU into a variant that already has several hundred or thousands of reviews. And so it'll benefit from the previous work, even though it's a brand new listing. It'll start getting cross-sold because somebody was looking for one that's already a great seller and see this, oh, they also have this. So they'll just add that to cart. Like I mentioned earlier, there's a gal who had bought 36 or 46 of just variations of a certain type of jewelry just yesterday. So anyway, if we just had, 10 other varieties, she might have added 10 other varieties to her cart. So that's an easy opportunity to expand. Expanding to Walmart or Etsy, or if you had somebody help you with the social media on Facebook, because like I said, I didn't have the time, you could spend a little bit of time on Facebook, going to a Facebook marketplace, selling on Walmart, selling on Etsy. Those are other easy ways to expand the revenue and profitability. Because we already have proven products. When we first started working on this business, we would kind of use eBay as the test platform. So I would launch products on eBay. And what sold well is things that we would launch on Amazon. It kind of changed later because Amazon started becoming like 90% of our revenue. So we just knew what worked and just launched on Amazon. But early on, we would launch on eBay and only sell stuff that sold really well on eBay and then move that to Amazon. There's lots of places to sell other than Amazon that could help. So you don't have all your eggs in one basket, because who knows? I mean, Amazon could change some policies, or maybe someday, decades from now, Amazon decides only they're selling, and so that's all the small business guys. Their biggest worries are Amazon's going to just take all your customers and sell directly to your customers. But we've done such a good job, I think, with our USP that's not really a possibility for our particular business. But some businesses that are Me Too's, like there's 10 people that sell the same exact item and they all look the same and all the pricing's the same. Sure, Amazon might start selling their own version of that product. But if the product's unique enough and protected by trademark and a lot of these other things, I don't think that's a concern, really, where Amazon will just put you out of business. So.
Okay. Well, actually, since you mentioned that, those are some great opportunities, but let's talk about those risks. What do you think are the biggest risks with this business that a buyer should be aware of?
That was a harder question for me because I tried to minimize our risks every way I can. And like I was just kind of alluding to, I made our product unique enough and different enough. People will pay 50% more, even though our item looks very similar to somebody else's item. So I don't have the same concerns a lot of people have. My greater concerns for this particular business might be like what's happening with the economy. What happens if the economy goes into a recession? Well, that's going to affect everybody. And that's really everybody's worries. And I had a little bit of worries, which is true worry because we're all our gas bills at the end of the month, if you drive a car, have gone up. Food prices are higher. So people will have less discretionary money to spend. So those are kind of risks and concerns I've had, but it's not really something that I can address. I think any business owner has those same concerns. I don't really have for this particular business any concern. I think they've carved out some niches. The affinity for the brand is super high. The unique selling proposition, not only the way the brand ties into the USP for the products, is very unique. I don't really have the same concerns that a lot of sellers on Amazon have or even eBay have. The following we have on eBay, for example, we could probably sell a line of something completely different outside of the jewelry category, and people would buy it just because they love us, they love our service, and we love our customers. It's just a really fun business. The audience is great to serve, and the products are a lot of fun. So I don't really know that there are any risks that I would have. And I might have mentioned this to you before we were on recording, but we weren't really that serious about even selling the business. We were like thinking we could just keep this indefinitely and have our kids run it someday, until we started doing the homeschooling. That became where my wife, Diana, doesn't have the bandwidth that she used to have. And the business itself could be easily grown. And we just feel like we're doing the business a disservice, maybe even the customers a disservice by not doing something more with the business because we just don't have the bandwidth. We're kind of at this comfortable place bandwidth wise right now, but believe that somebody could take this and grow it fairly significantly, fairly quickly, and have even more fun and even serve the customers in a bigger, better way than we have. So anyway, I answered your question without answering your question. I don't really have any concerns, really, except for the economy, So
Sure. Yes. And anybody who is in the e-commerce space, I'm sure, is well aware of those concerns. Well, a few housekeeping questions to wrap this up then. How much support are you willing to offer a new buyer?
I've entertained, and this is kind of within reason, so maybe an asterisk would apply, but we definitely would want somebody who buys this to definitely succeed. So I have a vested interest. Kind of this is our baby to some degree that they succeed. So I'd be willing to extend kind of within reason, for a few months, several months kind of thing. So I don't want to say we're locked into 6 months, but if somebody sent me an email 6 months after they bought the business and said, "Hey, Dan, I know we're kind of out there a ways, but what would you do with this?" And I'd definitely be glad to answer the question through email or even hop on the phone for a few minutes. But I don't want somebody calling me every 5 minutes or keeping me on the phone 3 hours a day for 6 months. So I would say would be not within reason. But I want somebody, whoever the people that would take over the business, I want them to succeed. And so whatever it takes to help them succeed. There'll be more upfront. Probably the first month or two, there's a lot of training, a lot of time, a lot of hand holding, kind of helping them adopt some of the systems that we've developed over several years so that they can be very efficient and you run the business in the same amount of time that we do, so it's not a burden to them. Then they could focus growing the business. So I'd imagine a lot of support up front and maybe trailing for a few to several months. So anyway, hopefully that kind of answers the question. I want them to succeed and would definitely support them for a few months, I think, within reason.
Yeah, we'll leave that asterisk there within reason. All right. Next question, just to confirm that you commit to a non-compete after the sale of this business?
Yeah, a non-compete in the jewelry category, yes.
Okay. And are you open to something like an earnout?
Yeah, it has to be kind of a case-by-case basis on what that means,
Okay. Sounds good.
I'm open to it.
Okay. And last two questions. Putting yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why do you think this is a business worth buying?
It's a very stable, long-term, successful business with, a great following and has large pockets of untapped potential for growth. It's relatively easy to sustain and maintain and also grow. And it's a ton of fun. It's a niche that is very interesting niche. So I kind of find myself just being amazed at some of the products that are in this niche that it's just a lot of fun and kids have fun with it. My wife has fun with it. Our family members have fun with it. It's just a really fun business. The customers, I was kind of alluded to earlier, they love us. They're just great people. And it gives you a great feeling when you provide a product to somebody and it really has such a great impact on that person and their family members. I've got just testimonial after testimonial of how we've impacted people's lives and people sending me messages on Thanksgiving like this is all 6 of the family members were giving a kind of a prayer or meditation of thanks, in a circle
Wow.
on Thanksgiving, and everybody had a product, and it's just cool to have an impact on people's lives and also make profit doing it. So,
Yeah.
sometimes people get into business just to make money. And I used to kind of give some talks to some degree in the affiliate marketing world, but I used to tell people, find what you love and then do it. Because they're always saying, oh, how do you figure out what you want to do? I'm like, well, find what you love to do and then do it. And, it doesn't really matter even the product. I love serving people and making a profit. Obviously, that helps you keep the lights on and helps you continue to grow. But it's great to do things that have positive impact on people's lives. And you hear that from customers, that you are a blessing to them and they're a blessing to you with their business, and they just keep on coming back. So it's a fun business. People love the product and they love the service. When we serve people like that, every email that we send, thank you for the opportunity to serve you. And we do take it as that's our job, is to serve these people. And they serve us with their, patronage, basically. So it's kind
Yes.
of a win-win business where we serve them and they serve us, and it's just a mutually beneficial relationship. So it's a great business. And like I said, I kind of almost stumbled into this niche by accident, and I'm glad I did. And it's a lot of fun and interesting. It still keeps life interesting. Like I said, if we didn't have the kind of requirements for more bandwidth for Diana, and if I was just doing this full time, then we wouldn't have sold the business. We would have kept it. It's a lot of fun.
Got it. Yeah, that's an awesome combination, I guess, of just serving being an awesome experience for you and your family and those involved with the business, but then also with the community and the customers that you serve while making, of course, a healthy profit in doing so.
Yeah, that's part of it too, is that we've also been able to serve our own extended family. Like my wife will hire some of her extended family from time to time to do some of the packaging. Our kids have done things, taking care of this product and taking care of returns or putting stickers on this kind of thing. So kids have been employed through it, and my wife's family members have been employed. So it's been a blessing not only to customers, but also to extended family. It's been a great business.
Got it. That's great. Well, Dan, we certainly covered a lot about the business, but is there anything you'd like to add that you think I might have missed during the interview?
No, I think we've got it. So you gave me a few questions that you might ask that I might have answered, but I think we covered. I tend to over elaborate, hopefully giving the listeners a good bang for their time that they invested listening. But any other questions people might have, I'd be glad to answer on the phone. I tend to over deliver as far as if people have any questions.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, that if anyone would like further details about the business, they can, of course, unlock the listing and have a chat with you.
Yeah, we booked several different slots. So I think I've added like 3 slots a day for the next 3 or 4 weeks. So people can book times. And if the times don't work, they can always work with you guys to get a hold of us, and we can maybe move a slot. So I'm definitely available to help whoever's interested in answering some questions for them.
Okay, sounds good. Well, I'm going to wrap this up here. So, Dan, thank you so much for sharing your story and joining us on today's episode. And I do hope your business is purchased in the near future and by the perfect buyer.
All right. Well, thanks, Nick. Have a good afternoon, evening.
Thank you. You too. And all right, everyone, thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this listing has already been sold, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing number 61819. And if you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. And once you've unlocked this listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about this business. So until next time, enjoy your digital journey.